Hey, my name is EJ. Through a sickness last year that really destroyed my body, I have been building back this year, starting with the challenge of losing 60 pounds in 90 days. Today is day 61 of doing so, and I wanted to share 9 things that I've learned through this journey in just 2 months on how I've lost nearly 30 pounds in that time period. And I want to share 3 important things for movement, nutrition, and recovery or regeneration. I want to start with movement. So the first is going to be, I don't need as much volume as I thought. Now, if you're in a place like I was, where I was working out at maybe a level 8 fitness level, right? Somewhere around there where it's pretty advanced, and then taking time off and getting back into it, the last thing I remembered was that level 8 routine of 6 to 7 days in the gym, doing cardio, the intensity of those workouts. And the important thing that I've learned is that I don't pick up where I left off, I pick up where I started. And you really don't need as much volume as you probably think that you do. There's multiple studies backing up that you just need 1 to 4 exercises per body part per week, and just 2 to 3 sets on those exercises. So just ranging around 6 to 12 working sets per week has been really great. I don't need to be in the gym working out and lifting for more than 45 minutes. It's really just being very adamant about the rest time, tracking in my phone, not getting caught scrolling, and not overkilling it like I used to, where it's actually just having a uprising of progress and gains in a workout, and then all these sets that follow. You don't need 5 sets per exercise, just 2 to 3, really good volume. So get in, be strategic, get out. Best thing I would advise is follow a plan so you don't have to think about it. The second is breaking up the cardio throughout the day after meals. Now, if digestion is an issue or you're eating heavy meals, where I'm eating almost 2 to 3 meals a day, and they're usually heavier because I am aiming for that 2,400 calorie intake, which is around 800 to 1,000 calories per meal, as well as just the mental fortitude it takes to lock in and do cardio for 30 to 60 minutes a day. It could be a time grab. So if you have a place to walk outside, I just recently got a treadmill a couple weeks ago for my house for like $170 on Facebook Marketplace. And it is just a way better process for my digestion and way easier for my mental and time availability to break up the cardio. So just doing 15-minute sessions 4 times a day, as I am doing now with 60 minutes of cardio on my plan, or breaking it up into like 3 10-minute sessions. And walking outside isn't going to burn the same amount of calories as a treadmill, where you can control the incline depending on how flat or hilly it is where you're walking outside. But that is a great way to try and get the cardio in, but not make it something where it's like I have to do this or not do it because it's for 30 or 60 minutes, or I don't do it at all. Trying to break it up over the span of the day. Third one is intensity in workouts does not have to be 100% every time or 80%, but I want to make one thing clear. If the weight that you're moving is not making your body change in how hard you are working or the intensity you're doing it, you're not going to have change in the body, right? It takes a physiological adaptation to overcome a challenge. So it does need to be challenging. It just doesn't have to be 100% on every lift. I have really focused on making a prime mover, which is one super movement that I'm going to really go hard on at the beginning of the workout. Everything from there is going to be like 60 to 80%. I think that is very important to not have 5 exercises that I'm doing 100% on, but really go hard on one prime movement. That's a compound movement, like a deadlift, a squat, an overhead press, a bench press, a bent over row, something that is going to require multiple muscles to engage at one time, usually in the beginning of the lift because it's going to be the most tiring. And then from there, scale back the intensity, but you do need intensity to make changes. On to nutrition. The 3 things that I've learned. Number 1, having issues with digestion, bloating, and stuff is what I've come to learn a lot of clients have, and I think it is something with our food system. So things that have helped me are shots of ginger juice, kimchi with meals, and yogurt. I've been doing Icelandic skyr, which is basically Greek yogurt, but from Iceland. And I just do that in the mornings, and it has greatly helped with my digestion. I don't have bloating. I don't have these other digestive issues that I was struggling with for a long time by just adding in a couple portions of these throughout the day. The second tool is that I've been bouncing around, trying things out in these past 2 months with strict intermittent fasting versus eating breakfast and normal meals throughout the day. I haven't found that it matters that much, and since my schedule is changing with different clients and different meetings throughout the day, I've found that I just like the flexibility of not sticking to eating a certain amount of meals in a certain window or not throughout the day. This is the rules that I live by with eating, and this is backed by science. Andrew Huberman has touched on this many, many times. I do not eat 1 to 2 hours after waking up every single day, and I cut off all caloric intake, both from liquids and food, 3 hours before I'm going to bed. And it is super important, especially allowing your digestive system to naturally lift up and clear out all the stuff in the morning. And it has a huge impact when you eat before sleep, because even when you go to sleep, your body is still running to digest that food, and it impacts the sleep scores every single time. I have tracked it on my Oura Ring, my Whoop, my Apple Watch. If I eat within 2 to 3 hours before bed, I get way worse sleep. The third and final thing for nutrition is cutting out sugar has been amazing. I would be a couple days a week, even 1 day a week, of having candy or some type of artificial sugar. And it is made by scientists to be addicting to our bodies, to our mind, to want to crave it. And cutting it out for the first 2 weeks was hard, but like anything else, it got a lot easier. And now my body and mind literally rejects it. Not only because I don't want the taste of it. Yes, the taste is still good, but the impact that it has on the body, on our mind, it is literally just like a burnout switch that just speeds up dopamine really fast, burns out the mind, makes us tired, and burns out the body and just makes us really inflamed and feel crappy. A fourth little tip is using apple cider vinegar and greens like fiber and stuff like broccoli and spinach and peppers and the whole sort of stuff that come from the garden. Eating those or taking a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with some water before carbohydrate meals really helps that skyrocket of an insulin sensitivity, where normally if you have a carb heavy meal, it's kind of like spikes up in energy, and then you have this huge drop off, and along with that comes tiredness and brain fog. So the things that have really helped manage this is having greens first and then eating the carbohydrates, or having a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water before eating the carbohydrates, because it allows it to try and give your stomach almost armor to slowly allow it to absorb the carbs instead of absorbing a lot faster. Again, doing cardio for like 10 to 15 minutes after a meal like that really helps just facilitate those nutrients so they're not getting absorbed so quick. In terms of regeneration and recovery, deleting all the social media apps off my phone makes it just one hurdle, right? I can still get to them in the browser. I can still get to them on my laptop. But just that makes it so much better for my mental side of things, allowing me to have a way better streamlined attention and focus, and not having me immediately turn off my alarm in the morning and maybe checking some apps on my phone. I've literally been on the apps maybe once this week, and it's been a huge, huge thing. So there's apps like Opal, there's screen time limitations on iPhones at least, but making sure that they're not on your phone, just try it for a week and it'll do wonders. The second thing for recovery is I used to treat it as like a switch where I would kind of go from working out, running through my day, and then kind of just like almost treat my body like a robot, flip a switch and then get into bed. Slowly powering down in the evening has really helped. Like even the choice of what I'm watching or consuming, like movies or shows, just like having them not as, actiony or violent, and choosing to like read a book or do something that is, more down regulating than just super stimulating. As well as just like making it the bat cave is what I call it. Putting a nose strip on, dimming all the lights or turning them off, dimming the TV down to its lowest setting and brightness, putting on my eye mask on my forehead. I don't have a bedroom that's solely for sleep. I have a TV in there, and so it is multi-use. Ideally, it would just be a bed for regulating my body to just like know that it's time to sleep in there. But it does take a couple hours to actually down regulating instead of just like finishing my day, jumping in bed and hoping that I'm going to fall asleep. You get way better sleep and way better recovery when I am actually intentionally down regulating over time, a couple hours before bed. Next thing and final tip is breathing. Breathing is super important, not only an exercise of understanding how to breathe in on the easier part of a lift and then breathe out on the hardest part of the lift. So think of it with like a squat. When you're squatting down, you're breathing in, and then the hardest part is actually standing back up. So we're breathing out when we're squatting, back up, controlling our breathing, trying to stick to nasal breathing only as when we're recovering, and try and stick to nasal breathing as much as possible while I'm doing cardio. And as well as taking as a practice outside of working out of just meditation. And meditation for me is just like doing 5 to 10 minutes of breath work and trying to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold that breath for 4 seconds, breathe out over 4 seconds, hold no air in my body for 4 seconds. And a couple different other breathing techniques, like breathing all the way in and then taking another deep breath when you think that you've breathed all the air in possible, and then slowly releasing it out. And it just helps with keeping cortisol lower throughout the day. If you have racing thoughts or are in a stressful situation or have something coming up, I've just found that breathing is a natural, easy to do, but kind of annoying in the beginning because it doesn't seem like it's working. You have to do it for like a minute, and then you're just like, wow, I feel like I'm on a cloud naturally. No drugs, just breathing, and it feels amazing. So that is something else that I've really dialed in over these past 2 months. I hope one of these things helped you. A lot of the stuff that I covered in this is in that free PDF in the description below. Just click the link and it'll be sent right to your email box. No funny stuff. It's just a way for me to kind of encapsulate what I've learned, what has really worked, and then send it over to you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.